Adcorp is South Africa's largest employment services company, operating in the permanent recruitment and flexible staffing sectors, as well as business process outsourcing.
Exactly. So it's got, in fact, many of the big brands in that space, and, you know, it's been a key player in labor broking, that kind of thing. It's been doing deals lately. Richard Pike has been buying things. Recently, Kelly, we've seen they've been taking a stake. That's another listed group, but bolt on more acquisitions, also looking good.
Market cap is currently sitting at a 3.5 billion rand. We've got a price to earnings ratio of 18.2. Dividend yield here of 3.4%. So a good dividend player. This performance is not bad. Talk to me about it.
I think the one thing about Adcorp, it's the PE of 18 looks misleading. You know, they've got a lot of complex accounting structures going in there with the BEE deal and the share program that they're running. I think if you look at it on a cash basis, on a normalized basis, you're probably looking at about 9 times. So it's not as expensive as it looks. And once again, this is a sector that is coming under a lot more regulation, especially on the blue collar side. The labor broking thing has been in the news for as long as we can remember.
Exactly, for as long as I've been sitting on the news.
Yeah. And if it ever comes to fruition, it's good for the big incumbent, because it gets rid of the small mom and pops operations. And the consolidation in the market will only be beneficial to these guys because they do everything they can. And it's incredibly cash generative.
It's interesting to see that aggressive, acquisitive play from Adcorp.
Yeah, so they now must dominate entirely in the recruitment space. Remember, the recruitment business model is finding talented people for top jobs and then getting paid as a percentage of their salaries. I think we're all familiar with that. So you've got all these different brands that they have, like Oval Office and PAG. Now they're going to have Kelly and so on as well. And so they can, you know, supply all of those. And I suppose they've got big corporates on retainers to find people for them. The labor broking thing, I agree absolutely with Chris, is that the government sort of wants to ban it to keep the trade unions happy, but they know it's absolutely idiotic and unrealistic to do that because many companies require flexible staffing. So it will continue, but the big players will be the ones that sort of get away with it because their big customers can justify that method of hiring. Put it all together, I like the group, although it is, remember, a function of how the economy does. You know, so when we're in a boom expansion cycle, stocks like this look good. When things get tough...
But Chris has made the point that the overall environment is conducive to helping Adcorp from this level. Would that be fair?
Well, I would say the regulation is conducive to helping Adcorp. I completely agree. If you look at from the permanent staff employment base, that is struggling because of the economy. But I think from the blue labor employment, I think it'll continue, and that's where they make most of their money. And they've also been very aggressive in the expanding offshore, buying some Australian businesses. You know, by the end of the year, we're looking at this company generating 30% of its revenue from India and Africa and Australia.
Sorry, Paul, I interrupted your train of thought.
No, that's all good, because of that IT hiring thing that they've got going on, which links them into India. I think management also is a strong plus here. Richard Pike has been at the helm for a long time. His CFO now, Anthony Scher, is also a pretty experienced guy. They've got lots of good senior people, strong, good dividend payer. Recently, they put out some extra shares as a share private placement in order to fund the Kelly acquisition, and that went down well, or went off well, so that's got to sound like a plus too.
Chris, hot or not on Adcorp?
Yeah, I like it.
Paul, hot or not? Wait, like or hot?
Hot.
Hot, thank you. Paul Theron, hot or not?
And I'm of the view that the economy is actually in an upward phase. So I'm going to go with hot on
the
this.
South African economy is in an upward phase. All right, we won't take you to task on that. After the break, we're discussing Metrofile and Micro Mega, as well as getting a trade of the day. That's the hottest idea owing from Paul and Chris's conversation. And where can we find that?
That's the message that gets sent out. www.followhotstocks.com. Over 8,300 subscribers.
We're doing well on that front. Stay with us.